The real reason why you're still single is because you do not listen. Girl, you don't listen. Mukutera advice, Yemahure. You're listening to people who haven't had stable relationships in their lives, and you wonder why it's not working. You wonder why you're not attracting love. But you're hearing all of this sprinkle advice teaching you to date multiple men or date multiple people, take their money, all of these tricks and mind games and all of that. And you wonder why at the end of the year you are still by yourself, you are still single, another Valentine comes and you are still lonely. And girl, I think when it comes to the advice you get on relationships, let it come from people that are in relationships or people who have experienced or have learned from their mistakes or people who are learning from people who are in stable relationships, right? Because sometimes it's the blind leading the blind. And we love to do that as girls. We love to advise each other to pits. Okay? We advise each other to our downfall. Men are trash, men are dogs, men are shit. But there are people who are happy in their homes. Variko vakarorwa, varikufara mudzimba dzavo. And we are still here furirating each other saying, hey, men are trash. People are happy out there, right? And not to say that marriage or relationships are the price, because no, they are not. When it's the wrong union, it can literally end your life. Because if it's the wrong union, you end up being in abusive relationships or end up being in these stagnant relationships where you feel dead and it's just a whole mess. So it's not that relationships are the price, but being with the right partner can actually take you further in life than you would go by yourself. And come on, at the end of the day, we all need somebody to go home to. We all need somebody to cuddle with. We all need a little bit of love and affection, and it's okay, right? Sometimes we have tried to make ourselves so gangster and be like, I don't need love, I don't need men, I don't need all of that, I'm good on my own, all this hyper independent woman. But girl, sometimes you need those takes, those late night takes. Sometimes you need those flowers. Sometimes you need all of that feel good stuff. I mean, it makes you feel good. When you're loved on and you're loved correctly, it actually makes you feel good and you want to do more things with your life. It's like a little dopamine hit, you know? It gives you that ginger to take on life and it takes away the depression. You become happier, you glow. You're no longer taking your frustration out on other people in the streets because you're loved on correctly. So let's talk about why you haven't been attracting the love you want, why you haven't been loved on correctly, and what some of the mistakes you might have been making. And I'm learning from my mistakes too, because I took some time to study myself to be like, okay, what has been happening? Which relationships worked for me? What was I doing? And which ones didn't? What was I doing wrong? So, all of that. So, it also takes a bit of self reflection because sometimes we love to rush into relationships without taking some time for ourselves, right? Kuti, you're just coming from one relationship, you're off into the next one. You haven't healed, you're going there with your baggage, you still don't know what you want, and it becomes a whole mess. So I feel like I need to stop saying that I feel like thing. I say that quite a lot. Well, you need to take some time to yourself, especially after you've just come from another relationship. Take some time for yourself. Rethink what is it that you need out of a relationship. What are you looking for in your partner? What are your needs? How do you want to be loved? What is your love language? Right? And working on your baggage before you go and meet somebody else. Because sometimes we are coming from these relationships, we have trauma. If your ex was some liar, cheater, whatever, and you rush off to the next relationship without resolving the trauma of that experience, you start to show up with your insecurities and you project them to the next person. And they could be such a good person, but you will not see that because you still have the wounds of the next person. So every little thing will be triggering you. The new person says they just want to go out, and already you are thinking of what your ex did to you and all of that stuff. And you hurt a beautiful thing. You sabotage a very beautiful thing because you haven't worked on yourself. You haven't healed from your traumas. You haven't healed from past relationships. Take away the baggage first before even looking for a partner. Because you are going into relationships very ready for war. You're already bitter. You already hate men. You're already thinking, all women after my money because of your ex. And now you are sabotaging something beautiful with this new woman because you haven't dealt with your trauma. So it's not to rush with your relationship. If the person is right for you, they will wait for you to do the inner work. They will wait for you to do the healing you need to do. Don't be in a hurry. Hakuna time yakanzi, if you don't get him by this time, it's done for you. No. Take your time to do the inner work. Heal. And I understand sometimes we feel the pressure that time is going, we are aging, but come on. I feel like it's worse for you to rush into something and ruin it than to take your time and be ready for it, and then you build it properly. It has a proper foundation. That way it doesn't just crumble to the floor, So after you have worked on your inner mindset or your traumas and your triggers and all of that, you have let go of the baggage. You have worked on yourself, you have worked on how you think, and you are ready now to say, okay, my mind is in a good place. I'm at peace with myself. I know my self-worth and everything. I've healed from the traumas. I'm no longer projecting my issues to somebody else. Now I am ready. We need to talk about your type. Sometimes you're still single because your type is not actually your type. Stay with me. Murukuda vanhu vasingakudei. You love people who don't even like you. And you think, no, this is my type. No, girl. You're wasting time on people who do not value you. And therefore it goes nowhere. Right? And you can tell when somebody likes you. You can tell when somebody values you, when somebody respects you and respects your time. You can always tell. The minute you find yourself Googling, how do you know if he likes you? How do you know if he's cheating? The minute you find yourself Googling something about relationships, just know something is not going correctly. Something is going wrong. Because genuine love is felt. Genuine interest is felt. People who are intentional about their feelings for you, they show it. There's no need for mind games. There's no need for tricks. There's no need for all of these tips and all of that stuff. When people are genuinely interested in you, they will show you or they will tell you and you will feel it. Right? So most of the times we waste our energy on people who are not interested in us. We are trying too hard to impress them, to have them see you. Because you pick me, but you're wasting your time. While there is another man out there who actually really is interested in you, who is intentional about you. And let's think about what really is your type. How are you picking your type? Because your type must be compatible with you. Are they emotionally compatible with you? Are they physically compatible with you? Are they intellectually compatible with you? Because sometimes another person's mindset is here and another person's is here. The conversation just really doesn't add up. You're on different pages of different books because you're not compatible. And I'm not saying, Kuti, you must only date people who have the same educational qualifications as you or whatnot. Not like that. But a certain There's a certain way that people click when they're intellectually compatible, right? A certain way people click when they're emotionally compatible. Their love languages are kind of similar. Vane kakunzwanana so kakufambirana, right? Because sometimes you want to really force it with somebody, but love that really goes somewhere is effortless in the sense that you flow. There will be challenges, yes, but there's a certain flowing, a certain compatibility that you feel good. Okay, this person can understand me. With this person, we can reach somewhere. Kwete kuti amutombo ndinakana nyaya mukwanise kutaura about anything. Umwewo hatonzwisise zvaunotaura, like. And you know how frustrating it is to be with somebody who is not intellectually compatible with you? It's frustrating. You get angry. But how does this person not understand this basic logic? Right? How does this person not get this? So there'll be so many fights and so many resentments that come from so much resentment that comes from you not being compatible. So it's not that they're a bad person. It's not that there's something wrong with them, but sometimes you are just not compatible. Hamuskupindiran. They are good for whoever they are good for, and you are good for who you are good for. Find who is compatible for you, even physically, sexually. Because some of the frustration comes from that, from not being sexually compatible. Because some people have their own needs, which are different from other people's, and you have a way that you want your body to be handled. And if you're with somebody who doesn't match your drive, who doesn't match your stamina, who doesn't match your needs, your interests, and whatnot, you will always resent them for that. When you are not compatible, there's that resentment that grows. And it really just doesn't go anywhere. So find people who are compatible with you, and even spiritually as well. Because we forget the spiritual side of things a lot when we are picking our partners, but that's really the most important thing. So sometimes I'm not going to, not sometimes, why do I keep saying sometimes? Sorry. It's not to say that you must be of the same religion, but at least have some sort of common ground when it comes to spiritual beliefs, because most arguments can come from you being so different that this person is of this religion and they are not open-minded. This one is from this religion, they are not open-minded. You guys are coming together with those different backgrounds. You believe different things, and it's just, it creates chaos. It creates so much chaos. So that's why you find in the olden days they would say marry people from your same tribe or from the same culture, the same whatnot. It's not that it was taboo because something bad would happen, but really they were trying to avoid these conflicts of people not getting along. So sometimes find somebody who is of the same spiritual orientation as you. It helps to keep the peace. And if you are going to go with somebody who believes things differently from you, at least both of you must be open-minded. So that in the house it's not kuti, you must pray how I pray. You must pray to who I pray to. You must do what I do. No. There will always be fights in that house if each person thinks I'm the one who's right. Nah. You'll always resent each other. So be spiritually compatible. Be intellectually compatible. Be emotionally compatible. And what does that mean? It means that your love languages must be similar. How do you show love? There are some people who don't like to be touched, who don't like to be cuddled. So for me, if my love language is touch, and I like to be cuddled, I like to touch my partner, and then they don't like that, where would that go? Vanhu vasingadi kubatwa isichida kubata, then where does that go? You know? So, finding people who are compatible with you makes things a little more easier, and it avoids a lot of fights because you are sort of on the same page. Sometimes you find yourself liking a person so much and you know they are not compatible for you. You know you're not intellectually compatible, you're not sexually compatible, you're not spiritually or emotionally compatible, but you like them so much that you want to force things and it just doesn't work out. You know? That's where you start finding yourself doing extra, trying to change yourself, but that can only go so far before you start to get tired and exhausted from it. When you are performing for love, it's exhausting. And love is never supposed to be exhausting. A relationship cannot be built on a foundation of performance. You need to be able to be your true and authentic self. And you're able to attract what's meant for you by being more authentic with yourself. So now your type becomes the person who is most compatible with you, not whatever list you had written down when you were 13 or whatnot. Yes, you might like that, but think about it. Is it what's compatible with you? And if you might want to change what you attract, it can start by changing yourself as well. Okay, you don't like the type that you're attracting, right? They're not intellectually where you want them to be, right? Or your vibrational match to the partners you're attracting is not exactly what you want. You start by changing yourself. You want to attract smarter people, more intelligent people. Become more smart and more intelligent yourself. Read books, show up in places where such people are. Become the kind of person you would want to attract. Because kana soro msina chini unungo attracta mapenzi. That's the truth. You emit a signal outside, right? As you move, as you walk, as you post your pictures, you're emitting a signal. And people who match that signal are the ones who come to you. Okay? Stay with me. So if you are wanting to attract better quality people, you want to attract high value women or high value men, you yourself must become a high value person. Because you are your type. Back to the type thing. You are your type. Because your type must be compatible with you. You want to attract people who are of a certain financial status. You need to aspire to be of that tax bracket as well. Do the kind of things. Of course, you might not have the means or whatnot to get where you want to be, but that effort, that alignment, that shift in the mindset is what signals to the universe that yes, I am ready. I am the kind of person who deserves this kind of partner. So it all begins with you. How you speak. Matariro ako chayako determines who you attract. If you're constantly speaking vulgar, you know the type you're going to attract. If you're constantly swearing or constantly gossiping or constantly having certain behaviors, there is always a certain caliber of people that sort of behavior attracts. Think about it. Like if you look at vanhu relationships, vazhinji vari attracta type dzavo. Saiwo uri kuda type iri apapa. Match it. Upgrade yourself. Upgrade yourself. It doesn't require too much for you to do the work, because now information is free and it's mostly information that you need. Sometimes guys, my people perish because they lack knowledge. Yes, it's so true. You can learn how to be a high value woman on YouTube. You can learn how to speak more eloquently on YouTube. You can learn how to be financially literate on YouTube. on Google, on ChatGTP. You can actually shift your entire identity for free. It's just about you taking the time to say, who do I want to be? What type am I? And what type is that attracting to me? And as you're working on yourself, let's also talk about the places that you're going to. So I understand that some people have found love in the club, and I'm happy for them. But you and me, I don't know. I don't know. I haven't. I don't want to say much about that because, I mean, it's okay to have fun. If people are gonna go to the club, let them do that. Let them have fun. It's fine. But sometimes there's a certain type of people that is found in certain types of places. So back to your type, right? So you're going to the club, you're looking for love, you found a guy and whatnot. And you are surprised that he's not serious. You're surprised that he loves having multiple women. You're surprised that he's going out every weekend. You're surprised that he can't be committed. Where did you find him? Wagamwanepi. So certain places have certain types of people. Okay? And not to say kuti it's only at churches or at golf clubs where you find high value people, because you can also find trash there, but it sort of filters the type. It really helps you to filter the type of people that you're calling into your life. So the type of places that you go to, the places you hang out with, how you present yourself when you are there. How are you handling yourself? Okay, you go to the club, right? Maybe a high value man is there, or a high value woman is there, yes. But how you are handling yourself, okay, balance. A balance will spot you in the crowd and say, yeah, that's my match, that's my type. Okay? You are handling yourself like you don't know your worth. You're handling yourself like I don't know what to say, but if you're handling yourself some type of way, there will always be somebody who spots you and sees you and matches how you're handling yourself, because you teach people how to treat you. How you handle yourself is how they will handle you. The signal you send out is received by a matching individual. So, yes, you will attract your type. So, to upgrade your type, upgrade yourself. That's the first thing. And upgrade the kind of places that you are around. You are in places where violence is tolerated, where vulgar is tolerated, where all of these low vibrational activities are tolerated. You are going to attract exactly that. Enda ku church. If you want somebody who's fun, go to the club. You want investors and whatnot and business-minded people and tech bros and whatever it is you're into, go to summits, go to seminars, attend those functions, attend those events. You want old money, go to Gulf Estates. Because your environment really matters when it comes to attracting your partner. Move outside of your neighborhood. If you are not in a good neighborhood and you don't like the quality of people that are there, move outside of it. Go explore, go talk to different people. And also, that's the good thing about the internet. You can meet people online who are like minded. But you must also now work on yourself and present yourself as the kind of person who deserves that kind of partner. And this doesn't just apply to finding partners, it also applies to finding friends. Because your friendships also matter. I know we are talking about uh, partners and relationships and whatnot, but your friendships apply the same rules. The same rules apply. Okay? Where you are, who you are surrounded by, what is in your environment, and what vibe you are giving off, you attract exactly that. So that's one of the things you ought to work on. Another reason why you might be single is because you're not in your feminine energy. You are trying too hard, you are chasing, you're doing the chasing, you're in your masculine energy, and that repels people. When you're doing too much, people can sense it. It comes off as desperate energy, and that always repels people. I mean, think about it. Would you want somebody who's constantly chasing you, stalking you, trying too hard, all over your skin, and all of that? It's really repelling. Some of you are doing way too much. And I'm saying this because I've witnessed myself doing the exact same thing, and that didn't work out well for me. But when you are in your feminine energy, the feminine is soft, the feminine is relaxed, the feminine sits back and it receives. Your feminine energy is the ultimate receptive mode because it's open, it says, I'm here. If you like me, you come and get me. You approach me. It's soft, it's not trying too hard. You know, it's not going above and beyond that you are doing all the planning, you are doing all the work, you are. No. There's a book by Robert Greene called The Art of Seduction, and it gives examples of different feminine archetypes. And I think it's best that you get that book. You can find it on, I don't know where you find your books, but you can even find audiobooks on YouTube as well. Read about the different feminine archetypes and find out which one you are. Because you repel people when you are behaving in your masculine energy. No man wants to be competing with another man. Okay? Because now you're both men, you're both competing, you're both in this. Oh, it's not sexy. It's not attractive at all. The divine feminine is magnetic. She is soft. She is subtle. You know, she's receptive. And that's what brings people to you. She takes care of herself. Some of us have neglected ourselves thinking, you know, it doesn't matter. But it really matters how you take care of yourself, your hair, your skin, your diet, your nails. These little things, we think they don't matter. Smelling nice, you know, being poised, your posture when you sit, when you talk, your gestures, your tone. All of these little things, they're little details that come with being feminine. How you dress. If you're gonna show up in your masculine energy, in your gangster self, you're gonna attract people who like those kinds. And then you wonder why you're not being treated like a baby girl, why you're not being treated with softness, because you're not showing up as your soft self. Okay? So work on your feminine energy because it also helps you with life in general. So it's not just about your partner. There's such a thing called pretty privilege. This works even as you're looking for jobs, looking for opportunities, looking for favors from people. People will treat you how they perceive you. If you're showing up in your gangster mode, they will treat you like a gangster. But if you show up in your softness, in your gentleness, they will also treat you with softness and gentleness. So work on healing your feminine energy. And I know sometimes being in this society or economy, we sometimes have to harden ourselves, you know, to be tough. But when you heal that, you start to show up more softer and you get treated softer. Okay? So those are some of the things that we have to fix if we're going to attract love in this coming year. And yeah, not to say that we need to have a partner or you really need to have a partner because that's another desperate energy that you'll be giving off. No, be comfortable with yourself, but be okay receiving love. Be open to receiving love. Be open to receiving the love you deserve. Okay. And being in a feminine energy also means having the boundaries to not tolerate being treated how you don't want to be treated. Being able to walk away, be willing to walk away. Because some people want to struggle and stay there. Go to, do firapo. This is my person, my ride or die. I don't want to be a ride or die. If the condition is no longer serving me, if it's no longer serving both of us, if it's not comfortable, I don't want to stay in toxic environments just to say, oh, I can stick by my man. No. If they are not treating you right, if they're not reciprocating the energy that you are giving out, be willing to walk away. Because it signals that you know your worth, you know what you deserve better, and you start to attract better. Okay? And when you have done all of that and somehow it's still not working out, you still find yourself sabotaging relationships and it's not going how you expect it to go. You've done your inner work, you've beautified yourself, you've worked on your mindset, your habits, your routines, all the things I've mentioned, and it's still not working out. Maybe it's time to also look into the spiritual side. Okay? Many people don't like to talk about this, but we are living in a world that is largely controlled by the spiritual realm. And I keep on saying this. It's everything starts spiritually. So, how do I get into this? Zvimwe zvinhu zvoda munamato ndakutora neshona because zvinhu izvi zvinowanzoaplya kune vanhu kwandinobva, right? Hatitauri nezveizvi but pane zvinhu zvinonzi ma-spiritual husbands or ma-spiritual spouse. Kuti you are truly showing up as a high value person, you're being in the right places, you're doing the right things, unogeza uri kuita zvese, and you know, but pane chinenge chisingadi kuti relationship ifambe. Kune vanoti vanobva kune mweya isingazodi kuti munhu arorwe. You know, that really happens, and we like to ignore those facts, but there are really spiritual reasons to why some people just don't seem to have their luck and love. And that's where prayer comes in. So before anything, whatever advice you find me giving you, there will always be something about prayer. If we talk about finances, I'll mention prayer. If we talk about relationships, I'll mention prayer, because that is the ultimate weapon you have in this life. Okay? So sometimes go to God. God, I want a partner. My mates are getting married. Ini wona wozirara ndav. Ndiri kudawo kugara mumba. People are happy in there. We lie to ourselves and say, I'm not kutambira mudzimba, but I've seen people who are happy. I have seen well-kept women. I've seen husbands who love their wives, wives who love their husbands, people who are working as teams to achieve, to build these empires and do these things. Wouldn't you also want a teammate? So, yeah, go back to prayer. Go back to your prayer closet. Tell God whatever needs fighting spiritually. Go on your knees. Pray about it. Okay? So my affirmation is that I am a loved, soft, and well-kept woman. So just repeat this with yourself, that I am a loved, soft, and well-kept woman. I am a loved, soft, and well-kept woman. I am a loved, soft, and well-kept woman. And start to show up as that, because I believe that you deserve love. I believe that you deserve a healthy, committed relationship that nourishes you. Not all of that toxic stuff. You know, you deserve a teammate. Somebody who is your partner, who you can build empires with, whom you can create magic with. And it's a beautiful feeling. We're not saying that marriage is the goal. Marriage is not the ultimate goal. No. Being in a relationship is not the price. You haven't won in life. There's so much more to life than just relationships. But wouldn't it be nice? Would it not be nice to just be loved on? To just be taken care of? To just be, you know, treated like a baby girl, hugged and kissed and all of that nice stuff. So I hope this helps somebody. And this coming year, the girls are in love. Okay? The girls are gonna be in love. Goodbye.